The newest addition to the Transformers gaming franchise has finally been announced. Transformers Reactivate is poised to be an online action-packed game that we won't want to miss out on. However, will it finally fill that quality third-person shooter hole? It's been 9 years since the last Transformers shooter and War for Cybertron game released, and gaming has changed a lot since then. So what new creative mechanics does Transformers Reactivate have? How in-depth and rich will the story be? And most importantly, when can we expect to play it? Whilst the announcement of Transformers Reactivate might be recent, this game was originally being developed by Certain Infinity back in 2019, codenamed as Transformers Online, and later as Transformers Rise. However, it's since been taken over by Splash Damage, the studio behind games like Gears of War 4 and Batman Arkham Origins, two very well received and reviewed games. And Splash Damage seems to be keeping to what they do best, as Reactivate will also be a 1 to 4 player online third-person shooter game. And judging from the leaked images that we've gotten, courtesy of RoboGamer, there'll be a roster of characters to choose from, Autobot and Decepticon alike, from characters like Starscream, Ironhide and Windblade. If you also look closer at the trailer, you'll actually see Ironhide driving alongside Ratchet. And if you didn't guess already, yes, the Transformer being brought back online here is Bumblebee, so they'll also likely feature as playable Transformers. As to how you unlock these characters, however, I think is definitely the most interesting part, and it's quite similar to how you would unlock alt modes back in the 2007 Transformers DS game. For those of you who haven't played them, and honestly if you can, try them, they were the best out of the DS movie games. In the game, you would play as your own original character, and as you explored around the different maps, you would find a variety of different trucks, cars, and even an ice cream van you could scan, adding them to your personal collection of vehicles to choose from. Whilst not exactly the same as scanning vehicles, Transformers Reactivate seems like it'll also have players out exploring wide open maps and finding the Transformers trapped in stasis lock beneath the ruins of a post-apocalyptic Earth. After all, both the promotional art and trailer have this big emphasis on the Transformers seemingly being almost extinct and buried, and that the aim is to retrieve and reactivate them. As to the new non-Decepticon enemies we'll be facing, I'll get to in just a second. As it brings us to the game's campaign/plot, which to my knowledge is a fresh, ambitious take on the Transformers story. Players join the EDC in their search for surviving Transformers, as both Autobots and Decepticons alike appear to have been driven to the brink of almost extinction. As we have seen from the trailer, it appears at one point that the world has become overrun by these seemingly mutant machinations known as the Legion, who prove to be too much to handle for both the Transformers and humans alike. However, now in the present, a shaky new alliance seems to be brewing underground. Now, believe it or not, before the trailer even released, we'd actually gotten leaked cutscenes of the game right here on YouTube, courtesy of DPZ Luna. And whilst they've since been taken down, it showed us a lot. The EDC humans we saw in the trailer seem to have set up camp in an underground bunker, where they've not only been reactivating Autobots, but Decepticons as well, which include Shockwave, Slipstream, and Starscream, who to my delight is being voiced by Steve Blum, the same voice actor who voiced the Air Commander back in Transformers Prime. And just like in Transformers Prime, he goes full on scheming and backstab planner mode in the cutscene, as he narrates how although the Decepticons like him and Shockwave are working with the bots, they're also furthering their own secret agendas. We can even expect to see more of the Transformers that will be in this game soon, as Hasbro are making a Transformers Reactivate toy line that will release possibly around October. However, you can keep track of any future updates before then by subscribing so you can catch the latest Transformers gaming and movie news. However, is this the game we've been waiting for? Well, I think it is. It's kind of been a while since we've had a Transformers game unconnected and in some cases not limited by a movie or cartoon continuity. The whole setting of Reactivate on a barren, wasteland version of Earth to me honestly mirrors a lot of how Cybertron was portrayed all those years ago in Fall of Cybertron. Another game which, although a part of the Align continuity, was free to take the story wherever it wanted, and is now probably one of the most beloved games in the whole franchise. Transformers Reactivate's story, from what we've gotten so far, honestly feels like it could easily head in that direction as well, if done right. For example, will the Transformers you find throughout the campaign impact the story? What I mean is, will recovering someone like Soundwave have a different consequence on the story than finding someone like Wheeljack? Outside of this exploration mechanic, how in-depth will the gunplay and combat be? Will there be a variety of weapons to choose from? Well, I'd assume we could expect to see at least some variety in the gunplay. Looking back at one of Splash Damage's other games, Gears of War 4, it had a ton of different weapons to choose from assault rifles, shotguns, to some unique guns that even fire mines. Either way, it won't be long until we find out, as Splash Damage have planned for Transformers Reactivate closed beta to release at some point this year. What are you most excited to see from Transformers Reactivate? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, then leave a like, have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe.